up your YouTube, search for Stukeley Meadows, watch on your big screen.
Or another device if you're at home.
Get yourself comfy, this could take a while. What a happy scene. Something new every day for your long-term memory. This is so exciting, it is nearly time for a Stukeley assembly. Good morning or good afternoon everyone, and welcome to Wednesday's reading assembly. For each other we, every day we, to improve we, together we will. Every single Stukeley day we focus on. Our Stukeley motto is, our Stukeley curriculum is, our Stukeley plan for home learning is. 4 words that make the magic happen. Yes, they do. It's reading assembly. We've got all the usual bits and bobs going on, but before we start, I just said that our home learning plan is read, write, quiz, spell, calculate. Well, yesterday I gave out the brand new learning logs to year 1 and year 2. Today, some year 3s and year 6 are going to get their learning logs. Tomorrow, the rest of year 3, year 4 and year 5 are going to get their learning logs, and foundation stage are going to get them too. I will talk to all of you about what you're going to do in these logs. But starting this week and next week, we're back on the home learning plan. So I expect to see loads of brilliant reading, loads of great writing, Numbots, rock stars, other bits, quizzing. Yes, come on, it's going to be great. Okay, let's start off with a bit of author work. We haven't done this for about 6 months. That's half a year. I am now going to give you about 60 seconds. So staff, you'll just have to pause the video and set a timer. I'm going to give you 60 seconds to talk in your class. You don't have to write it down. To talk and say as much as you can about Charles Dickens. Can you remember everything on that schema organizer? Can you remember things about him as a person and as an author? Can you tell me about his books? Can you tell me about his children? Can you tell me about his pets? Can you tell me about the year he was born? Come on! Pause the video, 60 seconds, everything about Dickens, now! Whoa! That was a lot of Charles Dickens information. Here's the schema organizer for you to check that you got everything. Here it goes. Oh, I hope you got all of it. I really hope you got all of it. Okay, last week we started reading the book Frankenstein. It's just over here. This is an abridged version. That's a shorter version of the actual book. The main book, the real book, was written by a lady called Mary Shelley. And she lived, well, about 250 years ago. That's when she was born. And she wrote the book Frankenstein. This is a shorter version. Let's have a quick recap and then let's find out what happened next. So first of all, the book starts at the end of the story. So the book starts at the end of the journey where this man is getting chased through the North Pole. I think it's the North Pole. Let's have a check. Yes, the man's getting chased through the North Pole by some dogs, and there's also this really weird creature. Anyway, the man comes onto the boat and ends up telling his story. And his story goes back to the city of Ingolstadt, where this man's at university. He's studying science. He really wants to make a human. He wants to make life. So he decides to do lots of extra study. He decides to go and study different things and look at different bodies. And it's all a bit gruesome anyway. So then the man, who we know is called Victor Frankenstein, he eventually works out that there are other people that have managed to bring things to life. And I think this is where we got up to. Victor spent months and months making calculations, building equipment, mixing chemicals and doing tests. He set a workshop in one of his rooms and hardly ever left it, staying up late into the night. He was so busy he hardly ever wrote home or noticed the seasons change. Letters piled up on his desk from his family and friends back home in Geneva. His father, his little brother, his best friend Henry, and his sweetheart Elizabeth. He ignored them all. From time to time, Victor would see himself in the mirror. He was wild-eyed and pale because he was so tired, but he kept ignoring it. I'll take a break as soon as I can. I'll take a break as soon as it's over, he told himself. I just can't stop now. Victor was completely obsessed. Nothing would stand in his way. For his experiment, he wanted to build a living body. So at night time, he went out looking for old bones and little bits of flesh. Out of this, he started to build a creature. At last, one stormy November night, everything was ready. A flickering lamp sent menacing shadows dancing over the body on the table. It was a hideous sight, with sunken eyes and shrunken lips, and patches of green skin barely covered its flabby flesh. A flash of light seared the sky, hitting wires that Victor had set up on the roof. A jolt of energy made the creature come alive. Then it took a breath and opened its eyes. And here, you can't really see it, here's a picture of this creature that he's made. At that moment, Victor saw what he'd done. He wanted to create a magnificent, beautiful new being. But he had made a monster. I made a monster, he whispered. The creaturey monster croaked, as if trying to speak, but Victor couldn't understand it. Unable to bear it, Victor fled. He ran away. He'd made a terrible mistake. Victor spent the rest of the night pacing up and down in the darkness, drenched by the rain and tortured by nightmares. He imagined his sweetheart, who he'd ignored all of those months, Elizabeth, and he just wanted to embrace her. In the morning, he was sweating and cold and sweating and cold. "Victor!" called a voice to him, and he saw his old friend Henry. "How are you?" asked Henry. "Your family and I have been so worried since you stopped writing. I thought I'd better come and visit you, Victor." Henry stopped and saw how ill Victor looked. "You're not well. I better get you home to bed." Victor allowed Henry to help him back to his room. He threw open the workshop door. Now remember, this is where Victor had made the monster. He threw open the door. It was empty. There was nothing left of his experiment or the creature, just a mess of scattered papers and smashed equipment. "It's gone!" Victor giggled hysterically. "What's gone?" asked Henry. "Have you been robbed?" Victor didn't answer. Every noise that he heard made him shiver with fear. He was so exhausted, he couldn't think straight. Henry watched in horror as Victor collapsed on the floor. We're going to stop there. So in our story so far, now please remember the creature, the monster, that's not called Frankenstein. Lots of people get confused and think the monster is called Frankenstein. It's not. Victor, the man, is called Frankenstein, and he's made this creature, this monster. He's created something horrible. He's now really scared. The creature's gone off, and his friend Henry's now looking after him. I wonder what's going to happen next. Great story. Okay, right, we're going to move on now cheer boost song or silence. Now last week I promised to get Mrs. Cooper back into the mix. She'd had 3 boos and a silence, and we just wanted to put a smile on her face. Now I couldn't use the hall because it was busy, so I set something else up. Check this out. Will they get to cheer or will they get to boo? With either one there must not be violence. They may well get a song, but it will not last that long. We really hope they do not get silence. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first cheer boost song or silence of this school year. I'm not in the hall, you've probably noticed that. The hall is very, very busy and I can't get in there. So I'm in the ICT suite in the curriculum room because it's got a curtain. Behind that curtain is Mrs. Cooper. This is the 5th time she's taken part in cheer boost song or silence. She has gotten a boo, a silence and a boo. She is not happy. She's chosen a card, so we're all hoping that for the 5th time lucky, she gets at least a song or a cheer. I mean, come on! How hard can it be? She's behind the curtain. There's not much space here, but in a moment she's going to come out and we'll see if she's got a cheer boost song or silence. What do you think she's going to get? Okay, Mrs. Coops, for the first time this year, out you come, Mrs. Cooper! Will they get to cheer or will they get to boo? With either one there must not be violence. They may well get a song, but it will not last that long. We really hope they do not get silence. I know you all think that I'm making this up. Mrs. Cooper picks a card just like everyone else. 3 boos, 2 silences. Sorry, Mrs. Coops. Okay, we're going to finish off now with birthdays and then, what's it called? Everyday knowledge for you. Okay, here we go. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Hey, 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 it's time to say we've got a Stukeley birthday. Oh, come on! No Stukeley birthdays today? No, we've got some tomorrow. Here we go with everyday knowledge. Oh, we are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. We are learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, learning to remember things worth remembering, everyday knowledge for you. That's as fast as I can go in flip-flops. Right everyone, yesterday I made a big mistake and I apologise to Mrs. Campbell. Yesterday I said we're going to do time and then we're going to do measures. Well, guess what? Time is a measurement. So we'll start again. Okay everyone, we're going to start with measurements. Here's some time. How many seconds in a minute? That's right, there are 60. How many minutes in an hour? That's right, there are 60. How many hours in a day? That's right, there are 24. How many days in a week? That's right, there are 7. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Absolutely brilliant. How many days in a month? Well, we know that there are 30 days have 30 days in September, April, June and November. Well done everybody. Okay, then how many months in a year? 12, that's right. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, how many days in a year? 365 Every now and again there are more. Absolutely correct. How many years in a decade? 10, that's right. How many years in a century? 100, absolutely correct. Right, now we're going to move on to length. We did this yesterday. How many millimeters in a centimetre? 10, that's right. How many centimetres in a metre? 100, that's correct. How many metres in a kilometre? 1,000, that's correct. Extra bit today, and this is a really tricky one, and adults don't know this. How many kilometres are in a mile? They're slightly different units of measurement. How many kilometres in a mile? 1.6. There are 1.6 kilometres in a mile. Good one. See you next time.